the carcass temperature when you first put them in. When we process the bird and we take them in here, we clean them. We put them in here and we get them all cleaned out. So they're in there. And you can feel the inside of the carcass. You can feel that temperature in that body cavity. And so every time you take them into the next step of water, you can feel them getting cooler and cooler. And then when you put them in here in the ice water, now stick your hand in there with ice and feel that inside of that cavity. And that's what you want them to be, nice and cold. It's uncomfortable to keep your hand in there. That's how cold you want to get them. That's sort of my testing point. You know, I don't have a thermometer in there. I know there's plenty of ice. They've been in there for about a half hour before we take them out. She'll take them out now. She's got her pan. She'll grab them. Try to get them as dry as we can. That's her quality control when she goes in.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what I do from here is I take them and I stand them up. I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Usually I have close to 10 birds in here. You stand them up so that the water, the remaining water will drain out. And I'll let them drain here for a few minutes, but just for sake of time I'll do some tonight. They're not. I usually put enough in here that they'll stand up.
Yeah.
And then we go through the quality control thing. I get, if there's any just extra fat or whatever, or the feathers, I get all those out. Usually they do a pretty good job. This one looks good now. I don't rinse them afterwards because we're trying to get as much water as we can out so that there's not too much water sitting in the bottom of the bag.
Okay.
These bags are shrink wrap bags. So, and we get these from Cornerstone also. So I grab them by the legs. This seems to be the easiest way for me. And I just put the wings in and drop it in. And then I bring them over to the scale and weigh it.
And that scale comes with a trailer?
Yeah. This scale is 268, so what I do is I just remember that, and I will close the bag first, and I gather it all up and gather the legs and everything together, twist it a few times, and then use the staple around there and staple it together. And the staples and stuff you can get from Cornerstone too, and we can put this in the trailer if you like because it is a handy tool.
Mm-hmm.
So from here, then I dip it into the water, and the
How hot is
water's
that water?
usually between 175 and 185.
And why would you do that?
The
Why? Is that to get the adhere to the chicken?
yeah, it shrinks the bag all around the chicken. So I just make sure I dip it pretty good, and then I bring it over. I put it onto a towel, and you want to squeeze it to get all that extra air out. And then my water's just not quite as hot as I'd like it to be because this all will really shrink up really nice when it's just under boiling. Is I don't normally.
So this is giving you a real good appearance then.
Right. So this is what I do because then when then I dry it off. And I write the weights on them just with a permanent marker. Just so I know. Because then when I take them into the stores, we put stickers on top of that and they don't ever see it.
Mm-hmm.
But the presentation is nice looking.
Yeah, it is.
So that's how we do those ones. So we'll do another one.
The label says back to basics on it then, or?
The label says, we have a little square label that says Back to Basics Farm with the logo and on. And then they put a weight sticker on it at the stores. And the safe food handling stickers
Okay.
and all of that.
Okay.
We don't do that because the stores have their own
Yeah.
way of doing it, so we let them do it. if you're doing it off-site sales or direct from the farm, you can get the stickers also, the safe handling stickers, and so that you can just put right on that bag, and it works out really well. Okay, so this one's pretty good. So now I'm put them in with the wings first. Lift it up and weigh it. This is a little bit bigger bird, 470. So this one I can show you what I do because I like them to be real compact like that. I squish the legs up into it so that it gives it that really nice appearance. Now our water's much better. So I'll dip it. And you can see that the air will come out too with the... So,
Very nice.
does anybody want to try it? The refrigerator, and our refrigerator's in the garage, so we put all those. When I put them in the refrigerator, I put them in standing up like this
Okay.
because that gets the most air around them, as they call it, air chill. But it also, you still have liquid in here,
Right.
and it's not going anywhere. If you stick it like this, it's going to start seeping out, and you'll have a mess.
Yeah.
So, we put them
Right.
up here. We put them in the refrigerator for 3 days, so they cure. And then from the refrigerator, they go into the freezer. So that's the whole process.
To cure them.
The meat needs to rest, so all the adrenaline and all that kind of stuff will rest, and your meat gets tender that way. It's just like any other animal. You'll hang beef, you cure your chicken too.
So this is going to give you more consistent quality of the meat.
Yes. So yeah, and so from that one, then from the freezer, you take it and put it in the oven, and I cooked a couple for you to taste.
Oh, wow.
So that's what they look like when they're done. That takes you through the whole process.
Oh, great.